Bonjour à tous, privet, konnichiwa. So welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in this wonderful discussion, talking about a very important topic about the fall of humans and then the fall of angels. Right. So anytime you hear about the fall of humans or the fall of humanity, what comes to your mind? For most people, what comes to their mind is the story of Genesis chapter 3. Right. The fall of Adam and Eve when they went to eat of the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, and their eyes were opened and they realized that they were naked. But the scriptures give us about the fall of man in Genesis chapter 3. And then the fall of some of the angels is given in the book of Genesis chapter 6, right? So we'll be talking about these things very, very well. Now let's go deeper. So in the book of Genesis chapter 3, after Adam and Eve had sinned against God, God said something. God made a pronouncement. He made a prophecy. And this was a pronouncement. He said, I will put enmity between thee, that is the serpent or Satan, and then the woman, right? And between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. So we all know that men are the people that produce seeds. Females don't produce seeds, they only produce egg. They only contains egg. The egg is to nourish the seed. The egg is to nourish the sperm, right? Men produce sperms. So the sperm is also the other word for seed is sperm, right? Or sperma or zera, right? So females don't produce seed. So why was the Bible talking about this? Why was God saying this? So this was referring to the birth of Jesus, right? It explains why the birth of Jesus was an immaculate one. It was by a virgin. It was by a virgin, by Mary, right? When she was a virgin. So there was no conception of a man. So that means that it was divinely orchestrated. Because women don't produce seed, they only carry seed, and then they give it nourishment, they place flesh on it, and then it produces a baby and it comes out, right? Men give the spirit, men give the essence, the woman gives the covering, the woman gives the flesh, the woman gives the nourishment. Together it forms a baby, then it comes out, right? Based on biology. Egg, sperm fuse to form a fertilized ovum, forms a zygote, then produces what? A fetus, then becomes a baby. That is what we know. So that explains why during the formation of a baby in the mother's womb, after some time, whatever the mama does, either food, alcohol, smoking, it's going to affect how the baby is going to be formed. It's going to affect the physical features of the baby, right? Whether the baby is going to come out with Down syndrome, whether it's going to come out with maybe cleft palate, it's going to come out with maybe all abnormalities. All of them is mostly dependent upon what the mother does, right, during the formation period of a baby's physical body. Okay, so I'll put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. So that was, we have understood about the seed of the woman, referring to Jesus Christ. Now, what about the seed of the serpent? We also know that angels don't marry. So how can the devil also have seed? So we'll talk about that later. So the devil, knowing about this particular stuff, planned to destroy this plan of God, in which the seed of the woman was going to come to bruise the head of the serpent. So let's see what the devil did. In Genesis chapter 6, verse 1, the Bible says something. And it came to pass when men begin to multiply on the face of the earth, right? And daughters were born unto them. This is that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. Very underline the word fair. We'll talk about it later in the future. And they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. So this thing occurred after Adam and Eve have left the Garden of Eden. And then Adam gave birth to Cain and Abel, Seth, and several of them. So we realize that Adam lived for over 930 years. And then we all know that most females live longer than their husbands. So it's possible that Eve lived longer than Adam, right? It's possible. So, and then we realize that they live for over 900 years. And just our modern 100 years that came, just the 21st century, the population of the earth now is more than 7.2 billion, right? Just 100 years. So 100 years is just 7.2 million. And then imagine that 100 years compared to 900 years. So that means that the people of the world at that time would have reached millions, right? By the time that Adam was 900 years. And he was still alive, and you would see all of these people. So when men begin to multiply, that's what the Bible said, that when men begin to multiply on the face of the earth, they were increasing. The population of the earth increased to thousands and to millions. Now the sons of God here is not referring to Christians, right? Although now we are called the sons of God, but the sons of God here means angels, right? The sons of God saw the daughters of men. Because if it meant men, it meant human beings, the Bible would not have said the sons of God. It would have said the sons of men saw the daughters of men. But I said the sons of God, totally different class. saw the daughters of men totally different class. So that means that there were two different things. The angels saw the daughters of men, and then they chose them as wives. They married them. They had intercourse. They mated. They bred together, and they produced something very, very dangerous, which was not in God's plan. That explains why God said that my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. So at that time, God gave them a lifespan of 120 years. That is why nobody can, no, nowadays, even up to now, nobody lives more than 120 years. It's very, very rare, because that is the lifespan that God has given to man, right? Before the flood and then after the flood. Okay, now let's see some interesting stuff. So what happened during this time? So during this time, when the sons of God, the angels, met with the daughters of men, they gave birth to giants, right? So the giants in those days, and there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that. So in those days, referring to the time that the angels came and had sex with the daughters of men, till the time of Noah, and even also after that, right? When the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. So let's explain these things, right, with picture so that you understand. So before the flood, and the reason why God had to destroy the world with the flood, with water at the time of Noah, that only the people in the ark were saved, was that the angels came to have intercourse with women, right? And then they gave birth to giants. So these giants, some of their bones can still be found now. So it can be found in Africa, in Asia, in almost all the continents of the world. In Africa, in Asia, in America, even the recent America, both north and south, in Antarctica, some islands, in Europe, right? So the angels gave birth, the angels and women gave birth to giants, whose bones are found all over the world, and then people cover them up. And then because of that, God had to destroy the world with water. So some of these things are seen as stories. So if you read most of the Greek myth or Greek stories, or you watch all of these movies, talk about the Titans, right? The gods. So these Titans or the giants were the hybrid of human beings, right? And then angels, right? That is all this history. So this history is about Hercules, about the Titans, the clash of the Titans, about Perseus, all of these things. Although they look like fiction, but they were, in a way, they contain some element of truth that happened in the world in the olden days before the flood, right? It has become story, and then also some days after the flood. Okay, now let's see some stuff that happened. So if the normal height of a human being, the maximum a human being can go is 7 feet, that is the highest the human being can go, normal human being. But angels can go beyond that, right? So what happened when you breed an angel that can go 36 feet or maybe 10 meters, and then a human being can go maximum of 2 meters? So this is what happened. This is what happened. So the giant ranges from between 6 feet and upwards. So an example of a giant that occurred after the flood was Goliath, as we already know, right? About the story of Goliath. The Bible even talk about Og Bashan, or king of Bashan, right? After the days of Noah, during the time of Joshua, right? The Bible talk about all of these things. So these are their bones, and the bones that have been excavated all over the years. So as far back as 1577, they were able to find something in a bone like this. As far back as 1456, right? So these are all bones that have been excavated now. Even just recently, you have bones that have been excavated, and it's 26 feet. Very interesting. So these were all the giants that came as a result of human beings having intercourse with angels. Now what happened? So originally the plan of God was that this was not God's plan. The original classification of living beings that God created were this. First of all, God created angels, right? Right? So under angels, then God created humans, then God created animals, right? So angels, animals, and humans. That is the original creature that God originally created, right? In this universe. But after some time, another thing happened called the hybrids, which we'll talk about it later. So under angels, when you are classifying all living beings that live on the earth, apart from God, we have angels. So the angels, we have holy angels, right? So and we have the fallen angels there. So the holy angels were the 2/3 of the angels that are still with God, and the fallen angels are the 1/3 of the angels that fell with Lucifer, right? So they are the 1/3 of the angels that fell with Lucifer. Okay, so among the angels, you can also classify them based on their wings or based on their activity. So you can have cherubims, right? Those angels that you have two types of cherubims. You have those that have 2 wings and then those that have 4 wings, right? And we have seraphims, which have 6 wings. We have opanims, which are like wheels, but they have wings over and they have eyes over them. We also have watchers, right? A class of angels called watchers who are watching over the thing that happens on the earth. And we have several forms of angels that we do not know, which the Bible has not disclosed to us. The host of heaven. So these are the classification of angels that God created originally. Then among the fallen angels, we have free and then roaming angels. They are angels that are free about. They are among the fallen angels. They are free to do whatever thing they want to do. So these include Lucifer, right? He has a chance to move up and down. That includes Beelzebub. They move up and down, right? That includes Apollyon, the one that the Bible talks about in the book of Revelation. So all these angels, some of them are free to move about. Some of them are worshipped as gods, as demons, as all of these things in various religions. And then we have some of the angels that are bound in chains, which are 200 of them. So these angels that are bound in chains are those that fell during the days of Jared. They are those that fell during the days of Enoch. They are those that fell before the flood of Noah, right? They are the angels that came to have intercourse with women, and not only with women, but with animals, and they produced the hybrid. That's why they are in chains, because they did something that was not in the plan of God. They did an abomination. So under human beings, we have man and woman, which everybody understands. And we also have animals. We have several forms of animals, fishes, birds, insects, all of this stuff. But let's talk about the hybrids. So what happened about the hybrids? So the hybrids consist of 2 types. We have the hybrid that came as a result of angels having intercourse with women, which produce giants, the first generation giant or the first generation Nephilims. And also have the second generation Nephilims, and then we have the Eloids, right? So the Eloids are the angels. The Eloids are the hybrids produced as a result of angels having intercourse with animals. So when the angels came, they not just only come to have intercourse with human beings, with the daughters of men. They also had intercourse with animals, right? That was why God had to bound them. That's why the world was so corrupt at that time that God had to destroy everything in the days of Noah. Now let's go deeper so that you understand. So we all understand you have angels, which are many of them holy angels, fallen angels, different classes of angels. But they also did something. 200 of them who are called the watchers, right? Angels can also be called watchers. There's a class of angels called watchers. In the book of Daniel, the Bible talk about watchers. In the book of Enoch, the Bible talk about watchers. So out of these watcher angels, 200 of them, right, decided to come and have intercourse with human beings and with animals, right? So they chose 200 women, right? They gave birth to giants, Nephilims, right? And then these 200 angels, some of them not only just mate with human beings, not only just breed with human beings, they also breed with animals and they produce Eloids, right? The Eloids, which are the hybrids of animals. So these giants and then the hybrids, the Eloids, are the demons that we see now, right? So during the time of the flood, God wiped away everything with the exception of everything in the ark. So that was why God saved only Noah, his 3 sons, 3 wives, and then animals that were in the ark. God had to destroy everything because everything was corrupted because of the angels and because of what human beings had become. So since these angels, right, are of heavenly, they come from heaven, right? They're heavenly beings. They have celestial bodies. They are not supposed to have sex. They're not supposed to keep it because they are eternal beings, they are immortal beings. But they're able to leave their first estate, their first spiritual body that God gave to them, right? Their celestial body, and find a means of having a flesh like human beings' flesh to have sex organs, to be able to have intercourse with human beings. And then they gave birth to giants and then the Eloids, right? So these giants and then the hybrids were abominations. They are not in the plan of God, right? That's so because they are neither angels, neither humans, but they are the combination of angels and humans, or angels and animals. When the flood came, when God destroyed the whole world with water, their spirits were allowed to move throughout the surface of the earth. So these are the demons that we hear now. These are the spirits that possess people. That explains why demons seek to possess people. Angels don't possess human beings. Angels don't dwell in flesh. They can have flesh. They also have their own celestial body. They can appear physical. But for demons, they need bodies, right? Either the bodies of animals, because some of the angels slept with animals, they give birth to hybrids. So some of the demons can dwell in animals. And this explains why in the book of Mark, when Jesus was casting out demons from the man of Gadarenes, they begged him that they should go into the pigs, right? Because some of the angels came as a result of what? They need body. They came as a as a result of the breed of angels and then animals. So they could even inhabit inside animals, right? Because they are spirits without bodies, without flesh, whether the flesh of human beings or human beings and angels, or the flesh of angels and animals, right? That's why they were asking Jesus to leave the man to dwell in the pigs. So they are the demons that are moving around. And one thing that they said that, have you come? They told Jesus, have you come to bound us before the appointed time? That means that there's an appointed time for these angels to be bound forever, to be destroyed before forever, right? But up to now, they are roaming through the earth. So since they had a human element or an animal element, they have thirst, they have hunger, they have sexual drive. So most of them, they are seeking for vessels. They are seeking for flesh, either be of animals or be of human beings, to fulfill these desires, right? That is means why they possess human beings or they possess animals. Okay, now let's move on to some of the things that happen. So we are talking about the giants, right? Now let's talk about the hybrids. So what about these hybrids between angels and animals? So if you watch most movies or most stories, they talk about these things. The satyrs, which is a combination of, they look like half humans and half goats, or half humans and half sheep, like the picture here. Or they look like the centaurs, right? Which is half human and then half horse. All this is because of the breed of angels and then the breed of what? Animals, right? So then we also have mermaids, which you already know, which people talk about in my more stuff, which is half humans and then half fish. So this is the combination of angels with humans and angels with animals. So they produce all these different mixtures, and then their children give birth to different mixtures and different monsters and all of these mixtures, and the world was bizarre. So God had to destroy all of these things, right? So in the book of Revelation, chapter 9, the Bible talks about something very, very interesting about this creature in the last day. Most often I read it, I never understood it, but when I did more studies, I got to understand it. So let's see what the book of Revelation is about. So it may look boring, but if you have your Bible, you can check it. It says, and the ships, that is Revelation chapter 9, verse 7, right? Talking about something that's going to happen in the end time, in the last days. Remember that Jesus said something that, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be during the second coming, right? So this is the end time. It said, and the ships of the locust were like unto horses, prepared unto battle. On their head were as it were crowns like gold, in their face were as the face of men, like this, right? Like this picture here. That's how the locusts look like. And they had hair as the hair of women. Remember that we realize that angels mated with women, right? And their teeth were as the teeth of lions. Remember that they mated with animals. And they had breastplates as it were a breastplate of iron, and the sound of their wings were the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. They had tails into like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months, right? And they had king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name is, in the Hebrew tongue, is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue had his name Apollyon, right? So this is another angel, right, who was in charge of these things. Now something happened. So this is one class of creatures that are going to appear from the bottomless pit, right? And these things looks like different things, combination of woman hair, of lion's teeth, of men's face, of locust, of horse, like the mister. Just like we were talking about what happened in the days before Noah's flood. The angels with men, the angels with animals, then their children mixing up and down and then forming all of these creatures. So these are some of the things that are going to come from the bottomless pit, right? So you're having a clue of why these things are coming from that place, right? Okay. And the 4 angels, right? Let's read the verse 14. It says, saying to the 6th angel, right, which had a trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Remember that I said that some of the angels are free and they are roaming about, right? They are fallen, but they are free and roaming about, doing whatever they want to do. But there are some angels that are bound in chains, right? So some of them that are bound, some of them were bound in the river Euphrates, right? 4 of them. Others were bound in the desert of Judah, and then in different places under rocks and all of these things. Those 200 of the angels that came to do this abomination before God. That's so when those 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, a day, and a month, a year, for to slay the dead of man. So they were loosed for the judgment, right? And look at what happened. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. I heard their number. So this is how, this is not scriptural, right? This is not scripture. This is just my assumption, my own theory. Is it possible that these 4 angels, right, who were loosed, that is 4 of the 200 angels, right? Here's my own assumption, were loosed, and then the Bible said the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard their number, right? So as I already said, 200 angels, they came, 200, right? 200,000. Understand? 200,000. So 200 of the angels, they came to have sex with 200 women, gave birth to thousands of people, right? They also took animals, all different types of animals, different types of animals, and they have sex with them. That's what it is. So it is possible that they have each fallen angel, right, had 1,000. So one for human being, one for goat, one for sheep, one for all these different hybrids they form. That's why the Bible will be saying that, in the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I hear the number. So this army here, could it be that they are the hybrids or the abomination of the angels with human beings and then with men? So let's see what the Bible says again. It says, said from this same place, right? Saying to the 6 angels which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels, right, were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, a month, a day, a month, and a year, for to slay the third part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen was 200,000. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses, right, in a vision. Horsemen, right? Men sitting on horses. And thus I saw the horses in a vision. And them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, of jacinth, of brimstone. And the head of these horses were as the head of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire, and smoke, and brimstone. And by this were a third part of men killed, by the fire, by the smoke, and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouth. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents, and at hairs. With them they hate men. Right? So this is something talking about the kind of creatures that are going to appear in the days of judgment that is going to happen. Right? So these are the kind of creatures. So they are horsemen. So it's possible that the horsemen mean that they are horses, right? And they have men, right? So that is horsemen means that somebody that is sitting on a horse, simply. So it's possible that the people sitting on the horses, these particular horses, are the fallen angels, the children of the fallen angels by human women. And then the horses are the mixture, the breeds of all these different abominations that were caused by the angels. So this is my own theory, right? So these are things that are going to happen in the future. So I hope you have got an idea about this. Now let's move on to the universe itself, right? So this is something up. This is a simple picture to help you understand what it means. So they have these locusts that are going to happen. So these are demonic stuff. They are like hybrids of different entities that are going to happen in the end times, in the end of days. But some people think that this particular description that the Bible is giving is referring to a helicopter. It is possible in a way, but I don't think so. People think that it's like this because maybe John did not know, because John did not know or had not seen a helicopter before. When he saw something like this, he thought that it was a locust, because the description actually looks like something like this, right? But actually, I think they are demonic entities, not just helicopters. Okay. Now let's look about the universe before we end. So when God created this universe, the universe we are living in, to me, it is a 3-tier universe. Right? That means that there are 3 levels of the universe. So the first level of the universe is the kingdom of heaven. That is the largest of all of them, right? It's just so large that everything that is on the earth can occupy that place. Everything that is in the universe can occupy that place without it being full. Right? It's the largest of everything, the kingdom of heaven. That is where God dwells. That is where the holy angels dwells. That is where the saints, people that die in Christ, people that believe in Jesus, people whose name are written in the book of life, that is where they do, right? Because to be away from the body is to be with Christ, and Christ is in heaven. So anytime you die as a Christian, you go to be with God in heaven. So the kingdom of heaven is the largest of them, right? It's the highest of them. Then we also have the first heaven and the second heaven. So the first heaven is where the stars dwell. It's where the sun and the moon are, right? Where the planets are. And then we also have the second heaven, which is where the angels are, right? The watchers are. right? So that explains why sometimes the stars can also be referred to as angels, right? Because they are also in the first and second heaven. Then the abode of human beings, right, is the earth and then the sea. So initially it was the sea, water, and then God separated it, and then God brought a dry land and then the sea. Right? So in the dry land, the sea is what was given to man. So man is the king here, right? In the kingdom of heaven, God is the king over everything. In the first and second heaven, God has given sectors of different parts of heaven to different forms of angels and to different stars to rule over, right? Although God is in charge of everything. This is my assumption. And then we have the earth, right? So on the earth, God has given it to man to rule over, right? But the earth is not only for man, it is solely for man to rule over, but it can be a place for angels, whether angels of heaven or angels, fallen angels, because if angel is in heaven before he comes to the earth, of course. And then it's also a place for plants, a place for animals, a place for spirits, a place of demons, right? So the earth is not only just for man, but it is ruled by man. Man is the one having dominion over man, over the earth. But angels can also come here. Demons can also come here because the demons are a hybrid of angels, right? And then men, right? So sometimes, so some and of men. Then also have the sea. So there's something mysterious about the sea, which we'll talk about in a different topic altogether. So the sea can also be called abyss, right? Abyss, right? So if you read the Bible, abyss means the sea, the deep. So and then in the book of Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, verse 2, the Bible said that, and the earth was formless and darkness was over the surface of the deep. The deepest waters, right? And the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. That is verse 1. Then in verse 4, after God has created light, and one God was created in the firmament. Firmament was made from the waters. God never said that it was good. That was the only day that God knows it was good. Very, very interesting, because that was the day that the waters were separated from above, from below. So why did God say that it was not good? So we'll talk about it in a different series altogether. So if you are interested, you can let me know so that we'll talk about it later. Now let's move on to the under the dry land. So under the dry land in the sea, we have hell, right? The underworld. And is the abode of the dead, right? And then in the deepest of hell, we have what is called the Tartarus. So the Tartarus is found in only one place in the Bible, in the book of First Peter. That's the only place that it's found. And it's talking about deepest part of the underworld, deepest part of hell, which is the place that the angels that came to breed and have intercourse, to have sex with women and the animals, those 200 of angels, some of them have been bounded, right? Tartarus, according to tradition. So the hell, and then Tartarus is the abode of the dead. Anybody that dies, at first when you die, you are going to the underworld, you are going to the grave, you are going to hell. Then in hell we have two parts. We have Abraham's bosom, and then we have the place of torment, right? But when Christ resurrected, the place of Abraham's bosom went with Christ to be in heaven, right? Because to be, as a Christian, to be outside of the body is to be with Christ, so they are in heaven. But the place of torment is still there. That's the abode of the dead. Then you have the disembodied entities, right? Or the demons. They also roam under the earth, right? Because it's still part of the earth. And you have fallen angels, and you have the fallen angels. Some of them have been born in that. So these are the three tiers of the universe that God has created, right? So we have heaven, where God is. We have the firmament, or the second heaven, the first and second heaven. And then we have the earth itself. We have Sheol or underworld. And then you have the Tartarus, right? So that is the basic idea about the universe that you have. So all of these places have what God created for them to have dominion. So I hope you have learned a lot about this thing. Hope you have I've talked about too many things. So this is a summary of all of those things I've said, right? So that means that there is a God in heaven that has created all this vast universe, and he has created all these creatures. And then he doesn't want any of us to perish or to go wayward. Because if you look at the story, when the angels went wayward, look at the abomination that they produced, which we are trying to deal with now. And then they have a place of judgment which God has prepared for them. But God does not want you and I to be there. So that is why he brought Jesus, the Son of God, to grant us a way of escape and to bring us to a better life. That is why Jesus, the Son of God, came to bruise the head of the serpent, so that we may have freedom, so that we may have deliverance, so that we may have access to the kingdom of heaven, right? So that we have access to live on the earth in peace and in righteousness. That we not fall under judgment. So that is something that I want to share with you. So in case you want to give your life to Christ, you have heard of these things, you can just pray and then believe in Jesus, and then for salvation, and then change your mind, then you get hope, then you get salvation. Thank you for staying with me. I hope you have learned something. Stay blessed.